Greetings, Light Tribe, Janine Palmer here, Spirit Silvermoon for Harmony Energy Healing. And I'm going to do a few oracle cards today. But first I want to talk about free will choice. That Earth is a free will zone. Most people probably are very well aware of that, and some people might not, have thought about it in that regard. But it is a free will zone where when we come here, when our spirit comes here into this body, part of the soul comes into this body, we come into a realm of amnesia, so to speak. We forget our divine origins. We're in a type of school of initiations. So right now is the time of a lockdown with the world shift and changes that are going on globally. And there's a lot of talk about people being forced to do things which they may not choose to do or want to do. So in certain cultures, certain time periods throughout our history, there have probably been times when we have been controlled. Okay, we're controlled by systems, by belief systems, by groupthink. Okay, so people have been controlled. And sometimes they have had to follow along with that control or face certain diabolical consequences. They've had to do things for their safety or the safety of their family, so they're not injured or killed. Okay, so that's been part of our past, unfortunate part of our past, which has largely been changed for the better. But now they're talking about forcing people to do things like I don't know, immunizations, inoculations, certain drugs, medical treatments for conditions. A person can choose how they want to treat or respond to a particular illness. Okay, in most places, some people, groups, organizations are trying to change that. People who want to rule the world, which is an illusion. Maybe people succeed at it to some degree. Those power trips or false power trips, whatever they are, whatever we know about it, whatever our limited perspective about it is. But there's certain things that even though people are controlling for whatever limited amount of time that might last, even though they either are controlling or want to be controlling or involved in groups that are controlling or want to be controlling through fear, through that false sense of power to bolster their egos or whatever that is, collective egoic groups, whatever they are. There's certain things they may or may not be able to control, certain things they might have controlled in the past. But there are certain things they cannot and will not ever be able to control. Even in the past when there were things that they did control, there are certain things they still couldn't control. There are choices that we make. There are things that we know that no one can take from us, no matter what, there's the cat, no matter what happens. So some of it is this illusion of something that is happening or might happen that works through fear. So they use fear as the vehicle to deliver it, to pull the strings, to try to control people. And things sometimes are not what they seem. And the less we get drawn into that, the more powerful we are. So we don't have to believe the bullshit stories that are going through whatever means they come into our field. We don't have to believe that. Don't give it the power of belief. We still have choices in some ways. Now, some countries are going to be different in how they're dealing with things right now. But we still have choices. We still have ways to leave certain places that are not for our highest and best good. So we just need to be aware that even if it seems like we don't have choice, we do. And sometimes we have to stand up for our choice. And sometimes there comes a time for a revolt, a revolution, whatever it is, to that person, whenever that might become necessary. I don't know. So I'm going to pull some cards for something more positive. This is, I don't know how to fix this, but it's backwards, but this is called Whispering Woods. I'm going to see if I can play around with this thing, tweak it so it's not backwards when you're trying to show a book cover or something like that. Some of these are just really short little cards. There's not like a huge big thing you have to read as far as a meaning that goes with something. So I'm just going to shuffle, cut the deck, pull a card. This one says teach inspire others, and let nature be your greatest teacher. So, if I was going to interpret that, we are all teachers and we're all students. We all have something to teach and to share. We all have some wisdom that might help someone else, and we can offer that. And as far as nature being our best teacher, this is exactly what I was just talking about. It kind of ties in. So some people might want to take pharmaceutical drugs that might help them for a particular reason. And sometimes they might choose not to. They might choose to investigate something or check with other sources to find other means of healing to balance our bodies that might not involve patented drugs, because nature already gave us those things. To some degree. I mean, it depends on the situation, depends on the person, depends on their choice. So the next one is angel healing cards. And again, there's really no explanation with them. You just need to interpret whatever that means to you, however that message might resonate with you. And so, let's see what this one says. Integrity. Be flexible, but also be true to you. We're just talking about this. Stand by your beliefs and values, and others will stand by and believe in you. So with that, I'm trying to think how I want to write it. Honoring yourself, confidence in yourself, in trusting in your knowing and your ability to choose in this life what your experience and your reaction to that experience is going to be. So the next one is angel cards. These are some great little decks. Okay, let's see what we get on this one. Love the artwork on these. So pretty. Okay, this one is you are a miracle. Think about all of the million little things that had to happen to create you. So there is so much that goes into our creation, known or unknown, remembered or unremembered, and the different levels on which we are here, because we're here, you know, on the physical self, but also the spiritual self, and the soul and the body, and the spirit and the soul are different. And hopefully we're on a mission of bringing those two things together through the anti-corona. So there's also one more card I wanted to pull. This one's from a deck by Denise Lynn called Sacred Traveler. This one does have a little book to go with it, but they're not long. So okay. Gates of Triumph. Success expands in your life. So I need to open the book and we'll read that one. We're not going to interpret that one, we'll just read what it says. Okay, right. Card meaning. The gates of triumph are waiting to open deep and wide for you. Inner and outer success is coming your way. Thriving is a state of mind. Accept that you can reach any goal you desire, and even more victories will expand in your life. The more you feel it, the more love, prosperity, fame, and fortune will pour into your life. The Sacred Traveler wants you to know, arriving in a foreign hamlet, wreaths of flowers are placed around the Sacred Traveler's shoulders. The townspeople celebrate and honor the traveler. The village elders know the challenges faced and overcome are welcoming you with open arms. If a situation knocks you over, get up and brush yourself off and discover what you learned. You aren't a failure if you fall down, only if you stay down. So keep going and believe in yourself. This is what true success is. Acknowledge your accomplishments in life. They are more than you imagine. Victory, good fortune, and triumph are at hand. And so that can be perceived in different ways in our lives, pertaining to things that we have gone through, how they've affected us on whatever level, what we've done to reach in and find ways to work through things, what we've learned about ourselves through the process, and then how that guided us, directed us, redirected us on our path, how it might have opened us to a calling, how we might come in tune more deeply with our gifts, our intuitive abilities, and again, what our gifts are and how we use them for the collective, how we are in service to others. And so that's it for this one today. Peace.